Hello, everyone, and welcome back to It Ain't Giving. Feels weird saying that. I know we've been gone for a while. This has been a few weeks, and it's been a very interesting few weeks. But this is me, show, if you guys already know, and my beautiful co-host, Miss Noella Fierce. Um,
Yes, hello.
well, just to start off, let's just go ahead and talk about why we were gone for so long. Um, At first, it was due to some unbestowed upon her. Like, she had no choice but to go through it. Some vehicular troubles. Noella, go ahead and tell us about how your car was giving you a run for your life, I fear.
So, let me break it down to y'all. So, it was the Monday of whatever week we were going to record. Or no, it was
Yeah.
Sunday. It was a Sunday because I remember I was delivering Sunday newspapers and it was all going fine and dandy. And then I pull into this one driveway, deliver a paper, and then as soon as I back out, I hear this like this weird crunching noise coming
Right.
from the rear of my vehicle. I was like, oh my God, is my transmission messed up? Are we at a minute? Yeah, we are.
Yes,
Is
yes,
my
yes, yes,
transmission
yes,
fucked
yes.
up? Like, oh my God. Ugh. So I'm like,
Beyoncé.
literally, my car couldn't go like past like 5 miles an hour. So I'm like, I'm not gonna risk doing exorbitant damage to my. I'm just gonna park it in front of this little mansion and just have it towed up to my mechanic.
Right.
But given that it was Sunday, the mechanic's not open on Sunday, so it sat there all day until the next morning on Monday morning. I had it towed to my mechanic. They worked on it all day. It wasn't able to be finished the day of, so they finished it the next day, I believe. So picked it up. Wait, yeah. So turns out it was not the transmission. It was the rear brakes, calipers, and something else. Like all of it just collapsed at once. I was like, oh my God. Gag. He's
Can't.
like, you want, my mechanic was like, do you want the good news or the bad news? It's like bad news first. He was like, well, all of the things, I don't even, because my mind was so rattled when this happened. I just, oof. So got that fixed. We were all dandy. We were cool. Um, Rolling around to the next Friday when was it next Friday or was it the same Friday? I think it was the
I think
next
it was.
Friday.
I felt like it was the same week because
Oh
I don't
wait,
feel
it
like
was
you
the
caught a
same week.
break. I don't think you caught a break that week. Like I feel like it was very
Yeah.
quickly that it happened because it was like, oh, we got it fixed, and not even like a few days later, you were like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, girl, really? Like this is already happening? Like you just got your shit
Mm.
fixed? Like,
Mm. So yeah. Anyway, the car decided to, after driving to this one concert that was excellent, like mind-blowing vocals from this artist. I'll get
mm-hmm,
to that later. But driving back with my friend Judith, um, we decided once we got back from the concert, we were in my area, my city,
mm-hmm.
and we decided to go get some Raising Canes because we were like, we're hungry, like we ain't eat all day. So we got some Raising Canes, and then as I was in the drive-through, because the car was finally like slow enough to where you could actually hear something wrong with it, I heard like this weird noise that was just very concerning. I was
Mm.
like, maybe it should be fine. I don't know. So I ended up doing my route. Did I do my route?
I
Yeah,
remember
I
because
did
I
my route that day.
remember the first time I think you were like just at the end of it, and that's when it fucked up. The other one, I don't
hmm
remember what the case was. If
This
it was
one, it
like
was,
before
oh,
or
it was on
after a
my way to
route.
work. So it ended up lasting throughout the whole route. Did fine, just fine. And then the next morning, as I'm on my way to work that day, probably when I'm about 2 miles away from work, like things just start happening all up on the dashboard. I see check engine light pop up. I see battery light pop up. I see braking system pop up, like TPS system pop up, like all the things pop like flashing. And I was like literally going to panic mode as I'm like
You're like,
so
oh
close to
Lord.
work. I get closer and closer to work, and then probably like a mile away, everything shuts off. So like none of the electrical systems in the car are working at that point. So in order to still get to work, because I'm like, I'm like almost here. I'm just gonna try to get to work and get it to a parking spot and deal with this shit at another time. So I managed to very slowly, mind you, probably going like 10 miles an hour, because literally the only thing that's running is the engine, and it's trying to push this car without having any help from the battery. And the power steering went out. So you know how most cars have power steering nowadays,
Yeah.
um, or some type of help to steer this almost 2-ton vehicle. The power sting went out, so when I tried to turn, when I tell you I had to grip that motherfucker and I was like, oh, just to turn. So I had to make one left turn without power steering, and then one right turn into the parking lot, and then another left turn, and then right turn, and that was by this point, as soon as I got like probably like a block away from the um the offsite parking lot where we're supposed to park, um, the car's going like 5 miles an hour. I'm like, same shit, different fucking day. I can't catch a break. It's like as soon as something, I decided to have a fun little night out with my girlfriend, with my sister Judith, and then the next day it's like, bitch, fuck you and your family. Actually, you can die. How about that? How about your car gets broken down twice in one recall? How about that, bitch? I'm like, oh, okay. So I was in full panic attack mode. Mind you, I had to go clock in because I was running late because I was going so fucking slow on the road.
Hmm.
So I clock in and I was just like, I like shut down. Like I didn't say good morning. I was just like, they're like, good morning, Noella. I'm like, you're gonna need to do the da 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 da. I'm just like, give me the thing. I go to mind you, this entire time I was on the phone call with my mother because she had heard me crashing out over all the things happening with my car. I was like, oh, I think she heard me because I'm dramatic. I like to be dramatic. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna fucking KMS. She's like, boy, don't say that. She's never heard me speak in such a manner. I was like, girl, when life is treating me like this, what other option is there? But no, so get through that entire day. Um, the actual shift itself was fine. It was nothing to write home about. But the entire day, I was just like going through multiple mini crash outs, like just thinking, why is this happening to me? Like, what have I done
Yeah.
so terrible that has, led me to this outcome where my car breaks down twice in one goddamn week in two different forms. First, it was the
Literally.
fucking brakes shattering apart, and now it's the fucking engine wanting to shit the bed. So
Right.
originally, my dad, because I told him like what was going on, is like, he's like, I think you just need some coolant, but uh, so I got some
Some
coolant. I bought some
coolant.
coolant at the end of my shift because at the end of the shift, as delivery drivers for this particular company, they make us fill up the vehicle that you were driving with gasoline with a company card. So it's like fine, but it's kind of like a little extra break, which I kind of live for. So while it was filling up with gas, I went inside the gas station to get some antifreeze coolant for my
Hmm.
engine to see if that was the problem. Turns out, as soon as I pop the hood, I get back to my car, clock out everything, get back to my car, pop the hood, and I see that the entire engine belt has like fallen off the bone. So the engine was literally just running off of. Nothing. There was nothing turning so that the alternator could charge the battery, so nothing was going on. I was like, what the fuck, bitch? I ain't never seen no shit like this. So obviously I wasn't gonna be able to drive home with coolant, without coolant. Didn't matter. The fucking belt came off, so the coolant wasn't the goddamn problem. But I ended up putting coolant in there anyway because it's like I don't know. I'm just the
Might
girl.
as well
I'm
at
just
this
the
point.
girl.
It's already purchased. It's already purchased. So
I'm just gonna put some in here.
at
And,
this point, you might as well.
and the reason why my dad thought it was the coolant because the coolant wasn't able to run through the engine to cool things down, and as the engine was overheating because the coolant wasn't running through it, the shit it has like a safety precaution. Most like newer engines, like post probably 2010, have like safety mechanisms to like automatically shut down things to protect the
Mhm.
engine. So that is what was going on when I was driving to work that morning. I just never had that happen to me in the two cars that I've owned. So excuse
Mhm.
me for not knowing everything. Like sorry, I'm not a fucking mechanic. I'm not a car person. I just want shit that drives and gets me to point A to point B. Like, oh, and I want to not
That
have
part.
problems, but this is the this was a low point for me, definitely. And I wasn't even able to like buy Christmas presents for nobody or do nothing of the sort because the
Mhm.
financial situation. So
Yup.
first time getting it fixed was around almost $700. Paid that off, or used a credit card because, child, that ain't coming out my checking. Not right now. Give me a few weeks, child. 'Cause Lord. Now the second one that I just got back, what on Saturday? Got the car back Saturday finally, and that was around 500 something, 540. So it's been a lot. Thank goodness the diva is working two jobs, so I will be able to,
And she got
recover
some
from
real
this.
good
But
tips too.
yes, it's we don't call them tips, we call them gifts. I got many gifts
Gifts.
from some of my subscribers. I got a lot of presents from them, which is very lovely and helped to ease the financial burden that this caused me.
Yes.
But Lord, it's like I can't even enjoy the gifts that I
She can
received because all
no
of it is going
literally
into the goddamn car.
literally it's
It's just
like
like, oh,
this is just
well,
gonna go to making me be able to make more money and get myself from point A to point B because bitch I ain't enjoying that money now.
right. But yeah. Oh, and then the week, um, so the car breaks down the second time on a Tuesday. Um, and I work Tuesday. I'm off Wednesdays, and that Wednesday happened to be Christmas. No mechanic shop is open on Christmas, so I think I let it sit there. Yeah, I let it sit there for Christmas, and then the next day on Thursday. Um, wait, am I getting my timing off?
I don't know. So was the second time the car broke down in the second week and not the first week?
No, it happened on a Saturday. It happened on Saturday because I
Okay.
work Saturdays. That's what it was. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Because the mechanic wasn't open on Sunday. They opened on Monday, and then they said, "Oh, we're not going to get a part that we need." I think it was the belt that they needed that it wasn't going to come until Friday. So I had to go this whole week without a car. I try to Now we're going to move into the rental section of this story, which
Girl, the
was a
rest of these
nightmare. And I'm
topics, I don't know if we even gonna get to them, child. We have
because
like
y'all
we
need
have
to
like
know what
we
happened. I'm
have
sorry.
7 topics and we are still on the first one, so it's giving. We
It's
gonna
a lot
start.
that happened. Should I just cut it off or?
No, we'll keep going because like all these other ones we can talk about later, but it'll be like a month since all of it has happened, so I don't even know if it'll be current enough to.
But yeah, so um, second time the car broke down, I needed to get a vehicle to try and you know to do my route in. I call up Enterprise. First of all, Enterprise, fuck y'all. Second of all, I was not able to get a car through like any of the booking places because, mind you, it's Christmas Eve ish, or it's around the holidays, so they had no cars available. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then the one time it tricked me into thinking that I did book a vehicle. I drive up, my mom drives me up to Enterprise, and we walk in there, and I was like, "Hi, I made a reservation." I was like, "Oh yeah, we tried to leave you a voicemail saying that we actually don't have any cars." And I was like, "Then why did y'all let me book a reservation saying that I got a
Oh,
goddamn car?" So my mom like
oh,
cussed out. I was like, "No, that's fucked up." Like, y'all, like she, and then she stormed out. I was like, "Well, I guess
that
I don't have a car."
is that is
So
shady.
then once we cooled down a little bit, we started like figuring out a plan. It's like, okay, so my mom is just gonna have to do her newspaper route real early and then drive back to the house and then I'll do my route afterwards and then just drive to work straight after, pretty much. So that's what we did for that entire week until we were able to pick it up
Uh,
Saturday. And now I have my car back. She's running smoothly. Although I must say I very much have PTSD. I'm like at any moment this bitch could just fucking fry herself again. I don't know what it's gonna be this time, but I'm
mm,
definitely like in a point of just constant anxiety when driving my car. And yeah, that leads us to today.
gotcha.
Hi, welcome back to us. That's what's been going on.
Yes,
It's
that's
been a lot.
why we've been gone. Like not only like that happening, but it's also like holiday season, Christmas. Like we
Hmm.
want to be able to not have to worry about a recording schedule on top of all of the other stuff that we might have been going through. So it was just like it's giving. Let's take a little break. And
Yeah. And the break was needed. Oh, it was so
yes,
needed. Thank goodness we had
so
a. Whew.
now that things are coming to a little bit more of a just more of a more calm state, we we're here, you know?
We
So
getting back on track. Hmm.
yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
So do we wanna we can talk about like maybe a few of these for these
We can
last
let's move on to some of them. Pick the
we
most
can talk
interesting
about
ones.
Elon and Maga. That's what it's giving. I
Ooh.
feel like that'll get some clicks. Elon Musk and the super alt-right MAGA people have been kind of going back and forth when it comes to the topic that Donald Trump is extremely polarizing on, immigration. Um, and it's kind of like how are conservatives having a disagreement on immigration? They just want them all out, right? That's what MAGA wants, but Elon and other super rich billionaires and CEOs want to take advantage of the H-1 visa program. And if you don't know what the H-1 visa program essentially is, hiring work across different countries that might be they have like the IT background needed to work at the job, and they're really good at their job and they want to come to America and work for, I guess, any of these corporations, say Elon Musk. And it's very lucrative for said CEOs because they can make these people work longer hours and underpay them because, say, you're hiring a man from India and the conversion rate, our American dollar is worth more than their currency, whatever they use. And so immediately you already get to pay them less. And then secondly, their them staying in America is dependent on them having a job in America. So you can take advantage of that worker. So of course they want an H-1 visa. That's they want as close to slave labor as possible. And that's what they have. And MAGA's like, no, you should be giving that to American citizens, and they don't understand why they're giving opportunities to people across the water. Um, and it's just, I think it's very interesting to watch them disagree on a key thing is immigration, and like they want to make it seem like they just want illegal immigrants out, but me and you both know that they just want anybody that is an immigrant, period, regardless if it's legal or not, they want you out.
Yeah.
Like,
It's basically a MAGA civil war over there. It's like, oh, they all fighting each other. It's like, well, this is what y'all
like,
wanted, y'all.
I thought we all were in agreement that like they just didn't like anybody that wasn't pertaining to what they were, which is white Americans. So
Hmm.
I'm confused as to why they're like going back and forth, and it's like, oh, because CEOs want to utilize the closest thing to slave labor, obviously, and they're like, this is very like Elon basically was saying that Americans are lazy and don't work as hard as these Indians.
And he called them a word that is similar to dumb and
Oh, our
derogatory.
words? That's what they said?
Yeah,
Who said that?
yeah. Elon, he like agreed with somebody in some Twitter space where he like someone in the space is called, well, yeah, American workers are our words and blah blah blah. It's like, oh
Base
wow.
Basically, he said white people, white Americans are lazy and want to get paid too much.
And y'all
So
voted for this, so enjoy it.
this is the next 4 years we're looking at, and he isn't even in office yet. I'm gonna
Oh,
continue to
it's
say
gonna
that
be oof.
because that's just like, ooh, it feels like a year has passed, and it's really only been like a month or two. Like it's been a month, right? Yeah, it's been a month. Oh wait, no, because inauguration's at the beginning of November. It's been 2 months. It feels like it's been a year,
Oh,
honestly.
that's how I know these 4 years is gonna feel like 8 years.
Yeah,
It's gonna feel
and
so long.
yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting. But another topic we can talk about that was very important. Government almost got shut down. Um,
Hmm.
and the reason why it almost got shut down, if any of you don't know, living under a rock, don't involve yourself with politics. There was a bill that was trying to get passed, and it basically was a bill that helped farmers. It had like disaster relief aid, like people that were affected by some of the hurricanes that came through not too long ago. Just like money to fund things that we actually need, um, and that would help everyday Americans. Republicans didn't want it to go through because they thought it was just, I guess, a waste of money. Like money that would help normal everyday Americans, they're like, that's a waste of money. We don't want to spend it there. So they were not agreeing to pass the bill, and it ended up getting to the point where if they didn't pass the bill, the government was going to shut down, and a bunch of people that work for the government, TSA is not the airport. Don't be paying those TSA workers. The government pays those workers. That's government making sure that you don't get blown up on some airplane or shot up on in some of the airplanes. And all of that. That's not the airplane business airlines paying them. That's the government. So yeah, you're gonna be going through TSA, and if the government was shut down, those people are showing up without being paid. So they have to worry about if they can fill up their gas or if they're gonna feed their kids or feed themselves or feed their pets before showing up that day. And that was gonna very much affect more than just the workers, truthfully. Um, but
Especially since this happened around the holidays.
like that
Like
will
all
affect everyone's
airports would have had to
travel.
like shut down pretty
That
much.
would
Like
affect
oof.
travel everywhere in the United
The
States, quite
economic
frankly.
disaster that would have caused, that would have
Mm,
been catastrophic.
Anybody relying on like some type of government funding to get through, you gonna be having a pause in them checks, baby. So,
Hmm.
but they finally came to an agreement. I don't know what they fucked up inside of that bill. Anytime they have to go back and renegotiate something, they end up adding stuff that the Democrats don't want, but they're gonna pass it anyways because it still helps some of the Americans with the other stuff. But then Republicans get their little, and it's always something super selfish that doesn't help Americans at the end of the day. It it either benefits some like CEO or like some super like wealthy rich person, regardless if it's CEO or not. It's just to help the one percenters instead of like the general masses, the other 99% of the population that has to live with everybody else in this world. So that happens. You wrote it down, but I don't know nothing about him. President Jimmy Carter died. He was like 100. I don't
Oh
know
yeah,
nothing about that
he
man.
passed away yesterday.
I don't know nothing about
Um,
him.
that's all I knew was that he passed away.
Period. She just want to let y'all know he did.
Yup. R.I.P. to the president, Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, I heard that he
R.I.P.
was like super liberal and like I don't know nothing about him. I'm not gonna even act like
Me neither,
I'm
child.
not gonna act like I know anything about that white man because I don't.
All I knew is that he was old and he was the president at one point.
I didn't even know who he was. I was like, someone was like, Jimmy Carter died, and I was like, I don't know who that is. Period. They were like, it was a former president. I was like, he probably was racist, and he was like, he actually was pretty liberal, and I was like, well, I don't know
Who?
nothing. Okay, I don't know nothing about that man. Like, I don't give a damn.
Right.
I'm so sorry. Sorry to his loved ones.
Side to that man.
Um, it's the last 4 minutes. I feel like we can fill the last 4 minutes with this. I feel like the other stuff that we can kind of skip. Let's talk about Beyonce's performance, child.
Ah! Yes.
Let's
Ah.
talk about Beyonce's
Ooh.
performance
Because one thing about it,
because
Beyonce gonna perform it down,
Bucket,
bitch.
Bucket.
Bucket, bucket, bucket.
Whoa!
Ah. So for y'all,
Don't
for those
copyright
like,
us,
we didn't sound good enough for them to copyright, child.
right?
The copyright wouldn't clock that at all. But anyway, for those of you who don't know, Beyonce performed a halftime show at the Christmas NFL game or whatever. Um, I very much did not watch the game, not 1 second of it. I
hmm
just,
Tuned in when Miss B came on.
yeah, I just waited till Beyonce, and I was actually like, I just missed the performance, but Netflix let me rewind, so I rewound back to where the performance just started. So
Right.
I was a bit late, but I got there in the end. I didn't have anything spoiled for me, which was nice.
hmm hmm
So yeah, Beyonce performed a beautiful medley of the Cowboy Carter tracks.
It
She
was
did.
amazing.
Oh, it was incredible from start to finish. I
Literally.
loved the pre-recorded part in the beginning that like helped to transition her out into the field. Like obviously that part wasn't like shot live with the performance, but the performance that we see of her on the field, that is the live performance. But the stuff before, that was just like a little prelude. That way she could
hmm
also shine light on those four wonderful black women country artists singing Blackbird, which was written by Paul McCartney in the civil rights era about and for black women. So
Mm.
I think it was very powerful for them to all sing that together and sing in
They looked
beautiful harmony and look
so
fabulous. They
fucking
looked so
good.
gorgeous.
Oh my god.
Uh,
All those black women in all white just painted
hmm
down. Ooh, hair together, outfits. Ooh, I'm so sorry.
It was everything.
Everything
Oh,
was amazing. Everything.
yup. And then
Um,
Beyonce just, she just has this fucking aura to her, and it's just like so mesmerizing to watch a true performer perform, bitch.
that's the
Like you
best
can tell
living
she is
performer.
completely in her element when she is on a stage, just performing her ass off and
hmm
giving us what we need, which is
That
good
is
vocals, good dancing, and good choreography. And
that's the best
you
living
know,
performer to this day. Like the best performers that I've lived in my lifetime is Michael Jackson and Beyonce.
hmm and to me, no shade to MJ, love him down, but Beyonce is the number one performer of all time for me.
hmm Yeah, it's gonna
Sorry
have to
about
be
it.
Beyonce. She
Sorry.
eats.
Like Michael had dancing on lockdown. like for
Mm-hmm.
sure. But Beyonce got vocals. She's a really good dancer. The
Mm-hmm.
stage presence is immaculate. So was Michael's.
Yes.
Beyonce
Yes.
also has better stage production. Like, and the story that she
The
tells with
storytelling,
her,
the
the story that
storytelling through all
I
of
was
her
just about to say,
albums, the
the
seamless transitions
storytelling
from
is
song to
just
song.
phenomenal.
Don't even get me started on some of her older songs, like Black is King.
Can we talk about how slept on that album is and how y'all tried to just call her Mama Africa, but no, that album tens across the board. That was my favorite album of 2019.
That's my
Favorite album of
favorite album,
2019.
like, period, maybe. Like, it's
Is it your
close
favorite
to
Beyonce album?
Renaissance. It's close to Renaissance for me. Like,
No,
those two are
I.
like fighting. Those two
It's
are
it's definitely
fighting,
in my top.
bitch.
It's in my top four. It's either in my top three or top four. It
That one, those
is
two, and then the Beyonce, the self-titled,
self-titled.
those three
Is
are like
definitely.
fighting each other. They're pulling each other's hair right now.
hmm
Like,
For me, it's Cowboy Carter. And this is in no particular order because if I think about it too much, it's gonna take me too long to actually rank them. So Cowboy Carter, Beyonce self-titled, um, The Gift, or Black is
okay,
King,
okay,
and what's the fourth one? Oh my God, Renaissance, obviously.
okay,
And then
yeah.
four has such a special place in my heart
Four
because
is good.
I love the ballads on that album. I
That was
love
when I
Start
was.
Over. I love 1+1. I love Schooling Life. Like,
hmm That was
we
when
could
I
talk
was
about Beyonce
starting to
forever, sure.
like get into my Beyonce vibes, but then the Beyonce
hmm
self-titled just thrusted me full, like
Yep.
full
hmm
fan, full fan. Like
That was like the first era that I was like a full fan of hers for. It was
every song on
self-titled.
the album,
Had a video. hmm
I that was like the first time I fully listened through like a full Beyonce album, and I was hooked.
Period.
Like
Period.
hook, line, and sink. Like she pulled me into her grasp, and it's been real cozy over here since. I don't know.
hmm
Mm, mm.
But anyways, back to the performance. We'll wrap it up. But there was like a lot of symbolism like throughout this entire performance, and I just loved that she paid homage to Black rodeo and a bunch of Black country ass people,
Mhm.
and just all the symbolism. Like I saw a video on TikTok, but it was like explaining everything. It was fascinating to me. Like all the like Beyonce is a goddamn historian. The way she studies culture, like and like
Mhm.
implements it into her performance, is so like wonderfully done and so seamless that you have to like know to know.
Mhm.
So she's basically like teaching everybody a lesson without them even knowing it. And
Yep.
a lot of people don't catch on till years later. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah,
All right, let's go on and wrap it
give
up.
tens for mother.
I forgot what to say what wasn't giving
Oh, girl, we
because
just hopped right into it.
cause girl, it's been a while and we needed to
We
fill
had a
y'all in.
yeah.
Obviously, what wasn't giving for you was your car troubles. We know that one.
Huh, yeah.
What wasn't giving for me was just I have one coworker that I can't stand and talk to me some type of way, and I guess
Mm-hmm.
that's what's not giving. I almost cussed his ass out, but I didn't. So that's what's not giving.
Oh.
And then what is giving is we're about to go into a new year. I'm about to eat 12 grapes under a table with green panties on, manifest some money in my life because I don't need a man, but I do need a little bit of coin to do these things that I'm about to step into in the new year for my career and the things I want to do in modeling. So that's what's giving for me. What's giving for you, Noella?
mm, it's giving for me. Mm. Just the fact that I was able to go through all that and come out okay and just realize
Mm-hmm.
that the world gonna keep turning, girl. Like
Yep.
shit's gonna happen to you, and you just gotta roll with the punches and wake up the next day and keep going.
Yep.
That's what's given for me is just the ability to keep going in
Yep.
the midst of bullshit.
Yep. We're always gonna pull through because we are black transgender women. We strong. I'm like black women in general strong, but there's a different struggle that gets tagged along with the whole trans experience. So We built a
Mm-hmm.
little different to deal with the shit we have to deal with on top of the regular everyday stuff. It's like we got to deal with what normal people deal with, and then what we specifically have to deal with. So it's like a little extra, but we'll always come out on the other side. We warriors. Mm.
But all right, you all, thank you so much for watching this episode of It Ain't Giving. We'll catch y'all next week in the new year, 2025. I hope all of y'all have a safe and wonderful holiday. Don't drink too much. If you do, make sure you call an Uber. And
Yes, smoke
yes, everyone
all of
stay
the ganja for
safe.
me.
Yes, do that for her because I don't be doing all that. But
Yes.
period.
I hope
Love
you
y'all
guys
so
loved
much.
my Slavic doll look. See you guys in the next one.
Yes, we'll see y'all next year. Mwah.